Jordan Montgomery traded at the deadline. Let's talk about it. So it came out literally at the dead end of the deadline, in the final hours, that the Yankees traded Jordan Montgomery to the St. Louis Cardinals for Harrison Bader. Might I add, injured Harrison Bader, who is currently in the walking boot. And it was at first I really loved it. Then I heard Sevy's going to the 60-day. Then it became very confusing. I'm real 50-50 about it. And first and foremost, it's if you're trading Muncy, with the fatigue that has been going through the rotation right now, you have to add another starter. And you're putting Herman in a situation where he's the number 5 now. We have seen he can't really stretch past like the 4th inning. So it's real confusing in an inning sense, because in the past couple weeks we've seen Cole have a rough outing or looking fatigued. We've seen Nestor Cortez have a pitch count limit because he's starting to show fatigue. We've seen Tyone looked very fatigued. I mean, even Herman can't pass like 70 pitches right now. So it's a very confusing time. I believe the Yankees made this at the deadline, and because they were anticipating another trade. As we've seen, Gleyber Torres did not play on deadline day because they were still mixing some things together. People are suspecting him headlining a Pablo Lopez trade, which would have been crazy, to add Frankie Montas and Pablo Lopez both at the deadline. But ultimately, I believe, I don't believe, it did fall through. And the Yankees, they made this last deal, fishing out there for something. And it has its pros and cons. Like first I mentioned, the Yankees have been very fatigued recently. Very, very, very fatigued. And the bullpen has been stretched thin, and we've been expecting guys like Licky and Abreu to go, 2 2 2/3, and that's not something you want to ask your relievers going into September. Well, maybe Abreu, because we're not projecting him to be in the playoff, so maybe you could try to work him as much as possible. And Licky he's a 50-50, so you know what? Actually, you can stretch those guys a little bit because they might not make the playoff roster. But even to ask that from relievers, I want to stretch you an extra inning in the third. It's not good winning formula. And I know the Yankees are not saying taking the series not seriously, but they're playing with the lead right now. But I ultimately believe the Yankees should keep going ahead, full steam ahead to secure the number 1 seed, so that they don't have to play the third seed and third division winner, but can play the worst team, the wild card team. Which even then, I don't know, because it's coming out the AL East no matter what. And that being said, it makes it even more confusing when you send Severino to the 60-day IL. And the explanation was that they wanted to ramp him up so when he comes back, he's not starting at 50, 60 pitches, but that he's coming back throwing 80, coming back throwing 90, coming back playoff ready. Because when he comes back, he's going to have 2 to 3 starts, and then it's playoff baseball. And we're projecting him to be the number 3 starter. Severino has ace potential, but injuries have unfortunately derailed him the past couple of years. We've seen him all-star, I believe, 2018, and then 2019 and 20 was Tommy John, and then last year was something else. I'm not sure. The timeline, 100%. But and when you think about it also, Harrison Bader might not suit up in 2022. Which is a big, big, big risk. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about a quote from Cashman today a little bit later. But it's a big risk because we've seen pitchers go down like this. We've seen aces, Mets lost Scherzer in a week, and then they lost McGill, and then, things can happen very quickly. And when starting pitching is your depth, you don't want to stretch that very thinly. You want to keep the depth you have in the starting pitching, because it's very, very hard. Very hard to have good starting pitching in the MLB, and the Yankees had that. And that's the key winning formula. And even, some people say even if he doesn't make the playoff roster, you have to keep your playoff guys, in good health. The people are believing this is the optimal time to transition into a 6-man rotation, with Herman being number 6 or Herman or Clark Schmidt, either or a toss up. And I'm in agreement with that a little bit. You want to give your guys an extra, it may erase 2 starts away from your guys, which is big, because those are arms. That's an arm innings that you're saving for the playoffs, and which is very important, because the worst thing you want your team to do is to be tired going into probably the best chance the Yankees will have in the World Series in a while. Judge's contract is tossed in the air. Who knows if he throws a curveball and signs somewhere else, which I don't believe is going to happen. I truly don't believe he's going to leave. But but you honestly never know. So the Yankees went out there and took a chance. And it's a chance. The Yankees are all in on the World Series push. And Cashman came out and said he didn't want to trade Monty. But sometimes when you want to win and you want to make an upgrade, you have to trade. You have to do something that you don't want to do. You have to trade a guy that you really like, for the chance at really, really getting better. And I believe if Harrison Bader comes back, the Yankees will be very, very good. We're talking about you're able to push Judge back to his optimal position, which is right field. You have Bader in center, who is the best defensive center fielder in the MLB, barring health. And him and Buxton are up there at the top. 1A, 1B. Some people may say, haters just one. But he covers ground. And I said in the previous video, it puts a lot of strain on Aaron Judge's legs to cover the gaps out in Yankee Stadium, because, believe it or not, the Yankees have, some of the deepest gaps in MLB baseball. Even though you say it's a little league field because of the corners. But it gets very steep once you get towards center field. And Harrison Bader could cover that ground. He could be the best center fielder, the best defensive center fielder the Yankees have had in a long, long time. Long time. And if you want, winning formulas, you want an elite center fielder. You want an elite shortstop. You want a good rotation, and you want a good bullpen. Obviously, hitting comes with it. But to have a good center fielder out there, a guy who's going to cover ground, a guy who's going to make plays, a guy who's going to save runs, it's crucial. Having an elite defensive center fielder changes the game. But I'm telling you, if you guys play baseball, and you have a guy who's out there tracking baseball down, who you believe, what you believe may be a short hit, or you may believe, that's a knock, that's an earned run. This guy's gonna go out there and get it. He's gonna jump over and snag a couple home runs. He's gonna dive and take a couple hits away, which may stop the guy from going from second to home. And a lot of people, another pro for trading Bader is that Monty may not have made the rotation. He was projected to be the number 6 starter, which honestly you won't make the rotation. And if you're trading you're trading your number 6 starter for your starting center fielder, I'll take that any day of the week. Just because you're getting a guy that's going to play every day. You're getting a guy who's going to play elite defense. You're getting a guy who's going to steal bags, even if you decide to bring him off the bench and you want Judge in center and you want, the 2 power guys and Carpenter and Stan in the outfield, or Hicks and Stan, which I wouldn't personally do. But it gives you options. Even if Timmy Lowe, you want to have an extra bullpen arm and you want to keep you have space for Timmy Lowe, because I believe, if Harrison Bader's not on the team, Timmy Lowe has to be on the playoff roster. A very Terrence Gore-esque roster spot where he's there to steal bases. He's there to put pressure on the pitcher. He's there to put pressure on the catcher. He's there to put pressure on the defense. And believe me, a good base runner does that. On the mound, you're thinking about him every pitch. And it's crucial. So if you want to bring Bader off the bench, he can steal the bags. If you want him to start a lineup, he can steal the bags. He can cover ground. And like I said, you put Judge back and right, which you want to take care of the best player on your team. You want to take care of your MVP, and to say, listen, you don't have to track balls down as much as you need to. You can go right field. You can cover a little less ground and just keep being great out there. And you know, Judge going crazy as he is now and batting 300 and hitting 43 home runs is going to help his body even more. And although the Yankees took away from the pitchers in the final playoff stretch, when Bader comes back, it's ultimately going to help. The last month, it's going to help, you know, Judge rest a little more. It's going to, you know, give more guys like Carpenter and Stanton rest, where they may not have to play the outfield because you have a guy out there. You know, you don't have to have Judge in center, which takes away from one of the corner spots. You know, you have Judge in right, you have Bader in center. One of you two guys can play. One of you two guys can take the day off, and the other can go to DH. Or have Donaldson at DH, LeMahieu at third, and give, you know, ultimately the day off. So this allows the Yankees to have a lot of versatility in their lineups, a lot of different ways they want to go. And I believe, listen, like Cashman said, you have to take these risks if you want to win. You're not just going to go out there and you know, try to tiptoe to the thin line. And, you know, you have to go out there. You have to take a leap of faith. You have to jump out there and take risks. At the end of the day, you have to take risks. We see contenders. They're taking risks. They're benching their struggling veterans and bringing up rookies. I'm gonna put pressure on you to perform better because we're a championship organization and we can't win with you playing like that. So we're gonna bring up a young guy, and if you won't do it, and if you know you won't perform better, he'll just take your spot. You know, the Yankees have to apply pressure. Apply pressure. Tell the pitchers, we believe in you 5. So you got to go out there and you have to perform. And things are going to get tense because it's, you know, at this point in the season, the Yankees believe it's championship or bust. So, I mean, that's the trade. You know, confusing, but also I like it. Honestly, I told my friend texted me, my friend Anthony, who I used to work with, he said, this, what do you know, eye emojis, and he DM'd me. I said, it's crazy, but I like it. It's crazy. But you have to do crazy things if you want to reach the end goal. So, ultimately, the corny saying goes, you got to risk it for the biscuit. You feel me? I never said that, but that's what just popped in my head because I'm a little tired. It's like 11 something at night, and I got work in the morning. That being said, it's been B-Riv, man. That's about the biggest burst energy I got, but it's been B-Riv, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate the love, man. Keep showing it. God bless. See you.